Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. It is 4th of July week, so our office is closed. So I'm going to hit you with a little programming note. This is going to mess us up. It always does chronologically. But since our office is closed, we're trying to enjoy a few days off. We are recording this on Thursday, July 1st, but it is coming out on Tuesday, July 6th. We want people, when you go back to work, I know not everyone has their office closed like we do. So when you go back to work Tuesday morning, we want you to have a little podcast. Maybe you're traveling. Who knows what you're doing. But we want you to have a show. So some interesting developments have occurred in the current events world. In particular, Bryson DeChambeau's Caddie Tim quit the morning before he's supposed to tee off in Detroit, where he is the favorite and the defending champion. His caddy of a long time just quits. So we're going to get into that. We have some more debates within the crew coming. We have a bunch of from the galleries that we can get to. And at the end of the show, I'm going to pitch the boys a handful of segment ideas that I came up with, and we will see what they think. But gentlemen, hello, how are you? We are joined again by the entire crew. I would introduce all of you again, but you know, I don't know how tensions are right now, but I know what I'm holding, which is a little Owen's Mixers, correct?
Owen's Mixers is the best mixer in the game.
It certainly is what you're holding. I mean, there's no question about it. Those are in your hands, and they're delicious.
So this week, and a lot of you, I get that you might not have the whole week off, but people they got days off here and there. They try to, parlay a little 4th of July break, a little 4th of July day off into maybe a longer vacation. On vacation, pretty common to have some cocktails. Pour this shit in with your favorite liquor. It might be tequila. It might be vodka. It might be rum. Who knows what the hell it is? But you pour this in with your favorite liquor and you have an awesome cocktail. There's dozens and dozens of options of great cocktails you can whip up. And Owen's is the best way to do it. They've revolutionized this old stagnant game of the mixer game and made it cool. They got great tasting stuff. You get it on Amazon. You get it next day. You go to owensmixers.com. You can get it all over the place. Go check CVS, Kroger, all kinds of spots. So Owen's Mixers, thanks for supporting us for a long time. Hey, gentlemen, how are we?
Doing fantastic. You played golf yesterday. How'd that go? So
Wednesday, I played golf. I've been doing the big chair sit tip. That's been my big thing lately. Golf tips are probably the closest thing to crack cocaine for any golf aficionado in the world. And I got this new tip that I picked up from Max Homa weeks ago, put in play. I've been hitting the ball a lot better. Well, yesterday I did my typical routine, which is, I'm 3 hours behind you guys, so we kind of record our podcast, do a bunch of emailing, that kind of BS, and around 3 or 4 p.m. I go out, pick a public course I haven't been to before, show up, pay as the last guy out, and go off as a single. I can film. I can just be alone for 3 or 4 hours. It's great. Well, played this course, Legend Trail, from about 6,900 yards by myself, and I shot 75 with a 3-jack on 18.
Wow.
Dude,
wow.
I played great. In the front 9, it was windy as shit. Like the first hole, so I get up, the first hole is a 400, I believe, like 405-yard par 4, straight downwind, like 30 or 40-mile-an-hour wind. And the courses are baked out here. Like they don't really water them anymore because summertime here, it's 105, 110 degrees. People don't play as much, and they're just going to overseed in September anyways, where they basically, the grass doesn't matter. So, dude, I hit a 3-wood on the first tee. It was a little bit narrow, and I hit it like 295 and had a flip wedge into a front pin, hit it tight, made birdie, then the next hole's a par 4 into the wind, and I hit my driver. It might have gone 220 yards. So it was windy as shit. But long story short, I'm not going to bore everybody with every shot. I played fucking great. I had 20 feet for a 73 on 18 and 3-jacked for a 75, which is my low round of the year. So I'm feeling good, fellas.
At what point did you realize that you were having a good day? Like, at what point did you start thinking about it?
So I shot 36 on the front 9.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, something's happening here. But it wasn't just that something's happening. It was that I was hitting it really well. Like I wasn't, because you know my game. Sometimes I can hit it all over the fucking planet. And somehow it's like, Riggs shot a 38 there? How's that possible? Whereas this one was like, it actually could have been lower. I was hitting it really well. So I had a lot of confidence going to the back 9. Really tough stretch, 11, 12, and 13. Just like 2 really hard par 4s and then a 235-yard par 3, which I bogeyed all 3 of them. But then made a birdie after that. So I was 2 over with like 5 holes to go, and 2 of them were reachable par 5. So I was like, dude, I could post a number here. I could really post a number. And I birdied a par 4 before it. So I'm like, all right, we're in good shape. And then I I bogeyed a really dumbass par 5 where I hit a 5-wood off the tee and it just went through the fairway into like – I hit it dead straight and it went just through the fairway into like a wash that I didn't know was there. Had to take a drop, ended up making bogey. And then the next par 5, I went four iron 5-wood into the middle of the green and had an eagle look. So like there were a couple weird par 5s, but it was straight downwind. So it was like you're just playing it weird. But long story short, I knew I was hitting it really well, so I felt fucking great. If I can keep this thing up where all of a sudden I hit the ball decently, watch out, gentlemen.
75, man, that's good golf.
You're 3 hours behind, so the 11:07 p.m. text of like, I played great with just a picture of your scorecard was an all-time move. I was like getting in bed about to fall asleep, and I saw that. I was like, well done, dude.
Dude, I can't tell you how weird it is, the playoffs. Like, I just missed the whole game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals last night. Like, I just didn't even know because I've been traveling so much, West, East Coast, whatever. And I finish up my round. It's like 7:45. I'm jacked up. I look. I mean, the game had been over for an hour. I was just like, fuck, I missed the whole damn thing. So I'm playing well. I'm excited for our upcoming trip where we play a little travel series golf because, you know, every shot's on camera and my game feels pretty good right now. So I'm excited. But we've got, you know, I hope everyone had a good 4th of July that's listening. I can't say that to you guys because it hasn't happened yet. So
yeah, who knows? We may not even make it through it. You
You're gonna choke on a hot dog.
One of the big risks.
Sure.
I know, but one of the big risks of doing a show this far in advance is like we may just not make it to the show releasing.
We'd get so many downloads though.
So many downloads. A lot of stuff's happening. You know, I hope everyone like stays safe, doesn't drink and drive, like avoids bad stuff over this crazy holiday weekend. But you never know, man. Life, this is a fickle game. This life.
It's fleeting.
Whew, starting early on the negative side. Sometimes we think through that. That's just a gut punch.
Is it too early for you, Frankie? Is that what's going on?
No, nothing's too early. No, it's just that's something you got to think about. There is a risk involved. We sometimes say, you don't want to promote like when we think we have a guest because it may not happen. Like we're promoting this show coming out like July 5th. It's fucking July 1st. Well, we don't know if we make it there.
It's a little different because we know the show is eventually going to come out. It's just whether or not the human body makes it to that point as well.
True. No, but I'm feeling good. I played some golf last night. I went to North Shore Country Club on the North Shore of Long Island. I guess that's how they got their name. Just wacky little greens, man. It's one of those courses, really fun layout, but when you get up to the greens, it's mini golf. It's crazy. There's no rewarding for a good shot onto the green, but it's really fun. It's a different style, and I haven't played twilight golf like that in a really, really long time. So like teed off at 6, and the rush to get to 18 was a cool rush. Like you knew you had to play pretty well to get through all 18 holes. You can't really look for balls. You have to hit it straight. You got to get in and get going. So. That was fun. The only thing that happened to me was, and this is something all golfers have to kind of relate to, I was playing in a twosome and we were moving and we're at a country club. So there's guys behind us that are country club players, these older guys, older gentlemen that just hit the ball right down the middle. They know exactly how to hit it onto the greens. They putt. These guys play 18 holes in no joke like an hour and 45 minutes. And they came up on our ass so fast, like out of nowhere, to the point where we had to then finish the hole, right? Like we were in the middle of the fairway, they're on the tee box. Like we're just hitting our approach shots onto the green. They're already at their balls right behind us. So like, what do you do in that situation? Do you continue the hole, or are they so fast and so up your ass that you in mid-hole, mid-fairway, do you just step aside and be like, just go, guys? Like, because I couldn't even play the hole. Like I had a bunker shot, and these guys are hitting. They're hitting approach shots because they knew exactly where to hit. The balls are landing in front of the green as I'm in the greenside bunker. So I'm just like, what do I do here? Do we just let them come up and putt and then just go on their way? We ended up just finishing out, and we made them watch us putt. But it was like a frustrating, like heart-pounding moment.
Those country club usuals, everydayers, they kind of become, what's your buddy's name, Frankie, who's in the office, who's never smiled before at work?
Rob.
Their golf experience becomes Rob's work. It's like they are just robots. Like they click the button, they go through, they don't smile anymore, they say the same old man jokes, and they can play, like you said, an hour and a half. And it's very intimidating because if anyone interrupts their ordinary schedule out there, it is like you basically like killed their family. Like they don't allow that. Their whole life is ruined. So I always just fucking step aside and just please please go as fast as possible. I don't care. I don't want to be in your way because there's nothing like golf's already hard enough. You already feel uncomfortable enough over the golf ball. Now you've got the added stress and just uncomfortability of people behind you. It's the worst.
I was standing over the putt and they were on the apron of the green. Like they were right there staring at us. And I said to my buddy, I'm just like, I can't do this. I legitimately cannot putt this ball because like I just misread it. I hit it 15 feet over. I ended up picking the ball up and we just walked. Like we were just like, I'm done. Guys, go ahead. It was very funny to see how robotic they played that golf course. Like I don't think either of them hit a bad shot the entire day.
How much worse did you play when they were on you?
Oh my god! It was only like I was actually playing decently, and I made a triple bogey on that hole, and I was in a greenside bunker in 2. Like I
the tempo of your swing like triples when they were behind you.
I pounded one out of the bunker, and then I 4-putted, and I just ended up picking up, so I gave myself a triple bogey. It was.
Dude, they're also like standing there with like they got their hand on their hip in the fairway, like leaning on their club. Just trying to give all the body English of get the fuck out of the way.
Bro, there were twosome and they had 2 carts. So they just they just went just solo.
That's a job at that point. That's just like that's my job. No, at 4 p.m. I tee off and I get 18 holes in an hour and a half.
Oh my
god. So big news, and this is going to be interesting to talk about because I'm sure more will come out from this. Definitely more will come out from this in the time between now, and when we've done.
I do want to say before we jump into the Bryson DeChambeau Caddie news, since the last time we recorded, which is a weird time warp, a new episode of Breaking 100 came out. I shot 118 at Eagle Crest in San Diego. I saw that face, Frankie. That's the same face I had on all day long. I played with Riggs and Lurch. It was just a tough day. Before I got a putting lesson from JT, my putting was much better. That day, just everything else was horrible. It's like when I'm hitting my irons well, I can't putt, and then when I can putt, I can't hit my irons or hit my driver. I will say it was a tight golf course. It was real tight.
Yes.
Yeah, it was tight. It was an ugly golf course too. I mean, I would say where we left it though, very positive. Those last 3-4 holes were great. It was a tricky golf course. It was a tricky day had by all. It was extremely tricky for you because of that front foot pickup thing that you were doing.
Well, the front foot pickup thing, which I don't know what I was doing. Like
where did you get that? Did you pick that up in a magazine or something?
I don't think so. I just think that I said this during the video, and I'm sure I've said it before. I just got so excited about the lower body movement that I just started moving things that didn't need to be moved. And I think Lurch made a point during the video where he said, yeah, like I got a taste of what moving my lower half does, and it makes me hit the ball much further. That I was like, I'll just add a couple more lower body movements and I'll be even better. That is not the case. That little foot pickup drains all my power and it makes all my timing screwed up. So yeah, I figured that out on the 14th, 15th hole at Eagle Crest. I wish I had figured it out sooner, but I bogeyed the last 3 holes and I just played way better. So doing that going forward, I think it's going to happen in no time.
It's a little tricky for us during the round because we like you're John Tillery's student, so like we don't want to go in and like plug an IV into somebody else's patient and just what I mean. So it's like when you're doing the foot lift thing, I'm just like, oh yeah, JT must have given him that. That's just his move now.
Right, and we could also be plugging the wrong IV in. Like, we don't know.
We definitely are plugging the wrong IV in. We're going to kill Trent.
The right medicine. We don't really know. It just seemed like there was a lot of lower body movement going on. And if we could simplify that, we might have a better, club to impact a ball. Like more consistent club face.
Thinking back, you were doing that at Brookville, and I remember the first time I saw your new swing, I went, whoa, that's a lot going on. You're like, yeah, man, this is awesome. And I was like, yeah, it is. It's fucking incredible. But I think you did get a little too excited.
And it's tricky because even with the foot thing, I play better than I did when I didn't move any part of my lower body. So, like, it's not all negative, but it is something that JT didn't tell me to do. And then once I stopped doing it or stopped doing it to the degree that I just play better. And like even my bad shots, they might not be great, but they still go pretty straight. When I move the foot, it's just a full-on disaster. So we're going to stop doing that. I appreciate anybody that sat through the Eagle Crest round. After the 9th hole or 8th hole, it was pretty clearly out of reach. So if you stuck around, I really appreciate that. And shout out to Riggs and Lurch and Frankie's good at this too when we do these videos. just all positivity. You guys don't give me any tips, anything like that. It's just full support, and I appreciate that. But foot down, and I think we're going to get this thing really rolling along, hopefully.
We march on.
We march
continue.
on.
And the key was to finish, we realized with 9 holes left, maybe less than today wasn't going to be the day. So we were like, dude, this last 9 holes, find something. Like, even if it's on the 18th hole, you got to find something that in your thoughts on the plane ride home, in your thoughts when you're lying in bed, before that next round, like you feel positively about what you're doing. You've got, it's a swing thought, or it's maybe it's a larger kind of just general mindset around your golf game, whatever it is. Find something in these last 9 holes, and with 3 holes to go, you found something. I think you bogeyed the last 3 or 4 holes.
Yeah.
You could have easily parred a couple of them, and if you can do that consistently, you're fucking shooting 90. I mean, you'll be fine. So I think finding something was the goal, and you found it.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I wish I had found it sooner, but I'm glad I found it at all.
Also, one of the sneaky hottest days you could ever imagine there. So, between the blend of the course hadn't seen water in seemed like a few years. And it was impossible for anybody to play well under the circumstances. You'd rip one down the middle of the fairway. You'd just be in sand. You'd be in dirt. So you're basically playing a bunker shot from 150 yards. And just to move around and breathe that hot air became uncomfortable for, especially not even for big guys, for every guy. It was one of the most uncomfortable rounds of golf. And we did have a group decision after I think it was maybe 10 holes. It was are we going to continue with this? Because Trent just, I don't know, you had a 60 something on the front. So it's dude, I think I said it was the hunt to 35. You had to shoot 1 under on the back or something like that. And I mean, that's not happening for anybody in this group. So it was just should we continue with this misery? And we decided to, yeah. I think it was for the best, but man, that was not, looking back, that was one of the least enjoyable golf rounds I've had.
It was the worst golf course for you. In that area, right? You need to be able to, New England golf is significantly more friendly because it's tree lined. So even if you spray it a little bit, the trees knock it down and you can at least advance the ball, whatever. And we were deciding between 2 different courses. And I will say, I ended up going and playing the other one. It would have been similar. It was if you missed fairways. Okay. If you missed fairways, you were gone. It just didn't – it was almost desert golfy where it's dude, if you just can't hit it sideways much at all. There was a lot of water. So I think that just region with the canyons, and they kind of squeezed some courses in between brush, and it was all overgrown. It was if you just didn't hit the ball really flush and straight, you weren't even dropping or punching out. You were re-teeing, which is just never going to add up. It's going to make it frustrating. So I thought that course didn't set up well for you. The weather didn't set up well for you. And then you had acquired that weird foot lift thing that clearly didn't work out for you either.
That makes me feel better, the course thing, because that day we were all going back and forth about where to play. And I wanted to play the one that we ended up eventually playing because it was closer to the airport, and producer Jake and I had a red eye and we didn't want to miss that and all that stuff. And I was worried after I played so bad and after we went to the one course that we ended up playing, I was worried in the back of my mind thinking maybe that other one was more wide open and there was more forgiveness. So hearing that it's very similar actually makes me feel a lot better.
It would have been the same shit. I don't think it would have changed anything. Same hot day, same topography. It was the same stuff. But the reason we found these golf courses was the Barstool Golf Time app, which that's how you should be booking your tee times. You're crazy if you don't. We got a reward system going on now where you can get discounted merch. You can get all kinds of good stuff by leaving reviews and by booking tee times. That's how you benefit. It is kind of crazy to think, gentlemen, that we have our own golf tee time app, because I've been using tee time apps my whole life.
Yep, and the reward system is as good as it gets. The points for booking tee times, for putting up pictures for tee times, for putting up experience videos of your experience and all of that stuff. You get all these different points, and the most points will just win you prizes and rewards, and that's just a really good thing to do because it's going to help not only promote the app, but also promote just golf in general with you and your buddies. You could show people the courses you've gone to. So download it, use it, experience it. If you're going to do a tee time app, if you're going to use a tee time app, why not use the Barstool Golf one? It's got all the times, and it has just extra stuff in there.
I've actually got my own promo on this Barstool Golf Time app now that just got pushed out, where if you book a tee time, you play Tuesday through Thursday during the week, you get 100 extra bonus points. It's a breaking 100 promo. We're trying to promote weekday golf, like after work golf. So if you play Tuesday through Thursday, book a tee time, any of those, you will get 100 extra reward points. And like these guys are saying, you can get it for merch, you can get it for all that stuff. So if you do that, you can just gain points like it's nobody's business.
I think I said, and I don't know if this has been approved, but I think I said if someone has the most points on the app, you just come. I'll just bring you to Borrelli's and we'll eat like kings and we'll go play golf around here. You have to be normal though. That's the only disclosure.
Yes, correct. Just be normal. That's going to be kind of an honor system thing. I think the normality of
just suck
normalcy.
if I'm like, nah, man, you can't come. You're not normal. That'll suck for the person. But if you're normal and you have the most points, I will bring you to Borrelli's and we'll go play local Long Island golf.
Yep.
It's a nice like elastic clause that you've put in there, Frankie.
Yes.
You just have to be normal because you can just make that call no matter what. Be like, no, you're not normal. I'm not going to do it. But hopefully people trust us enough. And yeah, we're going to continue to add things like this. For example, like in the fall, when I'm back in Scottsdale more, not traveling as much, we're going to add X person with like the most points on the Barstool Golf Time app. You know, in Arizona, come out, you and two friends, and we're going to have a foursome and play around a golf at Greyhawk or wherever. So the more points that you acquire, the better for you. You can get discounted merch, discounted tee times. The way you acquire your points, you book tee times with the Barstool Golf Time app, and then you leave reviews. We all know reviews are huge when you're trying to pick a course. I do this every day. When I determine where to go film my Rigsverse videos, I put out 3 a week. I film a bunch of Daily 9 stuff. When I'm going to figure out where to go play a golf course, I use the Barstool Golf Time app, and I rely on people's reviews. Numbers, pictures. I want to see pictures. We're visual creatures. Give me a fucking picture. So anyways, go download the Barstool Golf Time app. Book your tee times using it, leave reviews using it, and you will gain points, and you can use those points for cool things. Barstool Golf Time. All right. Bryson DeChambeau, this was originally reported by the No Laying Up guys, who I believe they have some source, and they've always been hard on the Bryson case. I do not think they're big Bryson DeChambeau fans, but they reported, and then Ryan Lavner of Golf Channel, who's a great guy, who's been one of their best riders for a long time, confirmed it, saying Bryson and his caddy Tim Tucker have parted ways. Bryson has Cobra's been showman on the bag this week in Detroit. Bryson's agent, Brett Falkoff, tells me in any relationship they run their course, and that's what happened here. Obviously, this is going to be fascinating. We've all seen the clips of Bryson losing his mind at the Open Championship, banging his head against the wall. We've seen Bryson spritzing golf balls. We've seen his caddy Tim laying down like Camilo Villegas reading putts to like take videos of Bryson's putting stroke and all kinds of crazy shit. We've seen the videos of Bryson, pictures of Bryson out on the driving range at 9, 10, 11 p.m. Lights are off, grinding, and guess who's got to be there? His caddy Tim. So it is an extremely high-maintenance gig, probably the most high-maintenance gig in the history of the PGA Tour. Maybe like Tiger Woods rivals it just because of all the extracurriculars you have to deal with and all the other people. But I doubt it. I think it's probably the most high-maintenance gig. He's been doing it for years. I think that I saw somewhere that like he quit maybe for a little bit 3 or 4 years ago, but mostly he's been there the whole time. Clearly, everyone's immediate instinct is like, oh, this is just a fallout from Bryson being an extremely needy, crazy science guy, and people can only take it for so long. That's kind of my initial knee-jerk reaction, but I imagine that we'll talk about it for a while.
I think people wear you down. If there's one guy that could potentially wear someone down, it'd be Bryson, with just his antics, the way he goes about it all. And we've seen some disagreements when they just talk about various shots where it seems like there's a lot of friction there. So, yeah, relationships come and go. You know, you have good ones. Hopefully they sustain. But this one feels like it's obviously doesn't sustain the time frame because, yeah, he's gone. And it's crazy because obviously a favorite, potential winnings. And it's like, can I just stay on for 4 more days? So I think there's a lot more to come out about this. When you're thinking about, several $100,000 potentially meeting you on WOD Wednesday for the caddies too.
Yeah, I do wonder who initiates a breakup, like the breakup in this situation. Is it, in my eyes, it's probably the caddy just because of all the things that we're saying where it's just a lot. Bryson DeChambeau is a lot, and he demands a lot, and he talks a lot, and it's just he's very high maintenance, like Riggs is saying. And I would imagine, again, I don't know, and maybe more details have come out since then, but like if you're that caddy at a certain point, I know there's potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to be made, like you're saying, Lurch, but also you just sometimes that doesn't outweigh like having to work with a guy like Bryson. And again, that's all speculation, but I do think the burnout rate for a guy like Bryson and caddies feels like it could be higher than usual.
Yeah, I mean, all speculation included in this, but a guy can only go to sleep crying so much, right? Like Tim has been through a lot, and he could say that he hasn't been. He could say that Bryson's been his guy, blah, blah, blah. We've gone to war together. I'm part of this. And I'm going to speculate that guy just got broken in half, man. Like, every night just staring at a fucking plate of food, being like, when is this going to end? There is no amount of money that can, like, allow me to accept this job anymore. I can't accept my life with this guy. It's a living hell every single day, being blamed for stuff, being, like, he's probably just sick of this shit. And again, that's all speculation. Maybe Tim is the one that was like, no, like I was the asshole and Bryson couldn't, or maybe Bryson says like Tim was the asshole and I couldn't handle his like outbursts and stuff. Like, what if that just came out? That'd be unbelievable.
That would be shocking. That would be a stunning moment. But you're right; it's all pure speculation. From
like, actually, Tim used to sit me in the corner and spank me with his towel all the time every time I didn't make a putt, and it was horrifying. So I had to get rid of him. No, but Bryson's a nightmare, and he's a nightmare for everyone involved. I mean, anyone that talks to that guy for more than 5 minutes realizes he's a lot to handle. So imagine being with him 24/7. I can't.
I will say I've never seen Bryson blame his caddy for anything. He always blames math and science. He's always like, I had that completely figured out, and for some reason that putt didn't go in. I wonder if even that, I mean, that's got to wear on you too, where even if the guy's not blaming you for a mistake that happens, he's blaming something that's not him, or like he's not taking any accountability for it. He's just saying, I did everything perfectly, and for some reason it didn't go the right way. Like, that also would be exhausting.
And look, like, we've seen in pretty much every caddy player relationship ever, or at least a lot of high profile ones, that the player will blame or the caddy. Like, that just happens. We've seen it with Spieth and Greller. We've seen it with Bubba and Ted Scott. And those two tandems, by all accounts, are like as close as it gets. And you see that with anything. Like, I've probably just blamed Jake Bass for shit before that. Like, he probably didn't deserve. I'm sure Dave Portnoy just blamed shit on Frankie Borrelli all the time. Like, you don't deserve. So that is just like a work relationship thing that happens. But, dude, I think every time we ever saw Tim at a tournament, he looked miserable. Like, miserable. He just wanted to be anywhere else on earth. And I brought up, so Bryson in his career has about $25 million in career earnings already. So if you do the 10%, that's $2.5 million. Let's say he wasn't there for the whole time. I don't know the exact dates, but let's say he's made at least $2 million off of Bryson DeChambeau, in 3, 4, 5 years, however long it's been. That's damn lucrative. This week alone, Bryson is the favorite. If he were to win, he'd win about $1.35 million, which would be, again, around $130K or so that Tim would take home, even if he finishes fifth. That'd be $307K that Bryson would take home, so he'd be making $30K this year with the top 5 finish, or this week or higher, and he couldn't make it 4 more days. So, if the speculation is correct that it was Tim's call, not Bryson's, which I think everyone's on that page just speculating. We don't know. That could come out to be untrue, but we're just speculating. Like, he got to a point, he put his time in this week, practice rounds, he's out there grinding, going through the green reading book, making notes, and he just woke up Thursday morning and was like, you know what, I'm fucking out of here. And that tells you a lot, I think, about the relationship.
The timing does tell you a lot. It doesn't necessarily tell you which person decided I'm done, but it definitely tells you that it was a last-second decision. And after the meltdown on the back nine that Bryson had at the U.S. Open, Tim must have thought about it and been like, maybe I'll keep going. And then, like Riggs is saying, he just had a moment of clarity Wednesday, Thursday morning, being like, fuck this. Because the timing does make you think that it wasn't like the greatest of endings.
Well, think about any midseason like breakup sports relationship where it just fizzles away or stops. it's because things have gotten so bad. And then there's usually like one moment that's just like, you know what? This is a drop all. I'm just done. And mid-season, they're like, so I'm very interested in this story. T Daddy is being just a storyline guy. Like, I
Yeah.
think whatever comes out about this will be super interesting. Because end of season, you see, yeah, we're just going to move in separate ways. It just didn't go like our way. We didn't have the success we wanted, etc. But with something like this, you know that there was either a conversation or something that was just like, we were holding this relationship together by a thread. Because of this, it's just over. So very interested to see what comes from this. I mean, that's one of the toughest jobs in sports. Yeah.
Breaking news as we're recording, trying not to be on the computer the whole time. But Jake Bash just sent this to us that Brooks Koepka just tweeted a picture of he and his caddy, and just wrote, "Couldn't do it without my guy Rick, best friend and greatest caddy to do it at Ricky Elliott Appreciation Day."
Jesus.
That is
Funny
a
tweet.
phenomenal tweet.
That's
That
funny.
is just
Phenomenal.
a phenomenal tweet.
I like subliminal Brooks the most.
Yes.
That's where his stuff is the best. When he's not directly talking about Brooks or directly making fun of Brooks, and instead is like
Bryson.
subliminally, that's the best shit. That's a great fucking tweet.
Yeah, when he was with Michelob Ultra and saying like if you say Brooksy or
Ugh.
something, you get a beer or something like that. Horrible. That's when we went after him. That's when I personally went after him. I think that shit was just so lame and stupid. This funny tweet, like this coming from anyone would be funny. This is just the picture is hilarious. Like they're like embracing each other. Like it's a very very funny picture.
That's just such a good tweet. That I couldn't agree more. This is the ideal Brooks. If Brooks, and I get it, you got to find yourself a little bit. Maybe he'll level off in this area, but this version of him when he does stuff like that is as good as it gets.
Remember when Bryson went off on the photographer and Brooks tweeted out the GIF, the Roid Rage GIF? Like he's just subtweeting, and that stuff is very very funny. Very funny.
This is a page out of Dave's book right here. Like to just like the complete spite and such a like it really digs deep. Like that kind of tweet really digs deep to a guy like Bryson DeChambeau.
Totally. Because, like, who left who in that relationship? You know what I mean? Like, was it just like, we're done? Did he quit? Were they both like, it's mutual? I mean, that one digs deep. That's a beautiful, that's artwork right there by Koepka, I would say.
I hope for the benefit of all of us golf fans that Tim, or whichever side is the most mad and the one that left the relationship, is willing to speak publicly about it. Because I would really love to hear what's going on.
Yeah, I mean Tim going on a podcast, our podcast, would be, if it went down the way that we think, it would be like when somebody finally leaves the White House and they're like, you know what, I got some shit to say. That is kind of hopefully the position that he's in, because it would be great for the golf world.
Also, if Tim did this, we would get Bryson's true feelings on the Brooks stuff, because they just went through all of this, and I guarantee Bryson is talking to his caddy about Brooks. Like, obviously the public stuff is like, oh, I'm going to take the high road, and he's kind of doing his thing, I'm doing mine. But I would love to hear the actual shit that Bryson talks about Brooks to his caddy. So again, if Tim wants to come publicly, he can come right on this podcast and talk about it.
Love to have him on the show. More than welcome to come on this show. So now it'll be interesting to see Bryson, who he's got in the bag this week. I imagine it'll just be an interim situation. I think, whether it's his agent or whether it's somebody from one of his sponsors or whatever, fine. But whether who he gets in the future, because it is a very lucrative job. People like to make money. Money's very important. It's an extremely lucrative job. Bryson's not going to stop making money, I don't think, for the next 10 years. So even if you could put in a couple years' time, it's probably worth it. Joe LaCava, like I don't know. Him and Tiger, Bryson and Tiger, played a lot of rounds together, seemed to be buddies. Going into, Ryder Cup and all that a few years ago, it was like the Tiger was kind of picking Bryson's brain a little bit on his approach and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it would be something like that, because Joe LaCava did caddy for Freddie Couples a few weeks ago on a Champions Tour event. But the caddy-player relationships, man, are weird. Like, Tiger did not like when Steve Williams went off with Adam Scott at all. It's almost like a little bit of a kind of that's my girl thing. Like, there's a little bit of that in player-caddy relationships. So I don't know that Joey, and we all know Joey's been the most loyal guy in the world. Like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was watching some fucking Tiger highlight, for the past, and thinking, like, there was a stretch where Joe LaCava went from Dustin Johnson's bag, who's been the number one player in the world for much of the last handful of years, to Tiger Woods' bag. And then for years, 3-4 years, Tiger just didn't play. And Joe just didn't take another bag. Like, he could have easily made hundreds of thousands of dollars over those years taking somebody else's bag. But he's such a loyal, awesome, salt-of-the-earth guy that he was like, nope, Tiger's my guy. So that seems unlikely. But I was just thinking in terms of caddies with notoriety, big names that are, up for grabs. Maybe Bones, like would Bones, because he's done the Justin Thomas thing. He's jumped out of the booth and into the inside the rope. So it'll be interesting to see who takes that loop.
Real quick, on the Joe LaCava side, I don't know. He did actually recently caddy for Freddie Couples in a tournament. So, and he was pretty excited about that, to get back with his guy Freddie Couples. And it seemed like he was like, he's the most loyal dude of all time, the best person on this planet. I don't know that there's a nicer man than Joe LaCava. I don't even know if I've said this on this podcast, but now that the playoffs are over and everything, Joe LaCava went to an Islander game and came to Borrelli's pregame, loved everything about it. He was eating pizzas, he was drinking beers. We were talking golf. This was after we saw him at the Breaking 100 day at Brookville. So me and Joey have just become like, when we see each other, we like embrace each other. I mean, Joey LaCava is like my guy. And post game, after a big Islanders win, he came back and we're talking about everything. He's like, yeah, man, like Freddie and Tiger, those are two like the best guys that you can possibly be around in golf. He's like, have you guys ever talked to Freddie? I'm like, Freddie Couples? No. Like, Bam Bam? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and he's like, oh, like, you want to, like, say hi to him for a second? I was like, what, Joey? Like, what are you talking about? He just, like, FaceTimed him, and Freddie's in a hotel at a golf tournament being like, Joey! He's like, hey, I'm with the foreplay guys, Frankie. He's like, Frankie, how's it going? We just talked about golf and sports for about, like, 10 to 15 minutes of just FaceTiming Freddie Couples, and Joey's like, how was that for you? I was like, fucking awesome. He's just the man. So I just wanted to put in that little story because it just shows, like, when a guy like Joey is on the bag, it's different. Like, that would never happen. What happened to Bryson and Tim would never happen to a guy like Joey. He is that guy's partner for life. Like, he and Freddie Couples have a relationship regardless of whatever happens after they are not playing golf anymore or he's on his bag. They are brothers because of what they've went through. Tiger Woods and Joey LaCava, brothers because of what they've went through. That's the kind of guy Joey is. So I don't want to put all the blame on Bryson now that, like, when you see how caddies are able to react and interact with their players, like, maybe Tim's just not, like, the guy cut out for a guy like Bryson, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, he could be just as much to blame for not being able to, like, dish it back or accept a lot of criticism. Who knows? Like, we don't know enough about it. So when you see a guy like Joey, it just makes you think, like, that's the tier. That's the top of the tier type of relationship guy that you want on the bag.
Yeah. 100%. And look, like, Joey is as good as it gets. There's a reason that, when Tiger was open and didn't have a loop, that they went to a guy like Joey LaCava, even though he's with one of the best players in the world. Like, that guy's as good as it gets. And it's true. He is. He's a fucking elite guy. His family's awesome. He's as salt of the earth as it gets. Genuine, authentic. Everybody you've ever met who asks about or talks about Joey LaCava talks about him with the highest regard. So there's a reason that a man like that with the best character is with the biggest superstar in the history of golf. Like, that just makes sense.
Guys, the night that he came to Borrelli's, he's sitting down, legs crossed, sitting back in a chair, telling stories just about golf and Freddie Couples and Tiger Woods. And he's telling this one story. I think I was kind of like talking to him as if he was on the podcast. I'm like, Joey, how do you get a job with Tiger Woods? Did you fucking go on, like, LinkedIn? Like, how do you get hired by Tiger Woods? And he's telling, like, a story about how he met. And as he's talking, now, during the playoffs, I kind of did this thing where I'd lock off the back of the restaurant, and any players that wanted to come in, we would make it a speakeasy, essentially, at Borrelli's. This is all stuff that I wasn't talking about during the playoffs, because it was like, I wanted to keep it hush-hush. So players would come back, guys, like, Islander alumni would come back there. All the people that were at the Coliseum would all come to the restaurant. We'd have, like, our own little VIP in the back while everyone was going crazy in the front. It was a frat party in the front of the room. And we would literally hang up curtains on the windows so no one would see it. And they'd park in the back parking lot, the TD Bank, and walk in the back entrance. Fucking awesome memories. But anyway, Joey's sitting back there telling, and you just see as he's talking, couple people stop their conversation over here at this table and they start walking over. Someone else goes, oh, what's he talking about? And starts walking over. And at one point he's sitting there, legs crossed, beer in hand, talking to 20 people standing around him. Just talking about golf and his experiences, and he's so fucking good at telling stories and relaying it, and his imagery is incredible. You feel like you're there. You can almost smell the golf course as he's telling you. They're walking up the 18th green. You can feel the pressure. He's like telling these stories like that. So I feel like I'm hyping him up so much. Like, we have to get this guy on the podcast. Like, Joey LaCava has to come on here at some point in his life and come on here and tell his stories, because the people need to hear this guy speak.
How did he say he got the job with Tiger?
Well, I'll leave that for when we eventually get him on the podcast.
See, I was just going to say there's an element of, we've had good relationship with Joey for years now. Joey's the reason we were able to get that chat with Tiger where he asked Trent where he's stationed. Like, Joey makes that stuff happen. And there is an element of it's almost cool to keep him at arm's length from the podcast and just be like buddies with him. But also, if we don't parlay it into Joey coming on the show at some point and just telling stories, then that would be a huge miss. So it's a little peek behind the curtain. It's always weird for us to be like, hey, you're our boy. We love just hanging out with you. You can say no if you want, but like if you came on the podcast, that'd be awesome.
I said that to him, and I will say it was taken very, very well.
Okay.
Very well. So we will have to pursue that at some point. Obviously, he doesn't know what's happening in his future right now. So,
Totally.
like, Joey will have to make his own decisions on that. But all I know is that Foreplay Podcast is the biggest Joey LaCava fan base podcast on this planet. I personally, and I think you guys will be there right beside me, arm in arm, I will go to war for that man. Regardless of whatever happens in this lifetime, Joey LaCava, I will go to war for you. I fucking love him.
Taking up arms. I'm ready. I'll go to war right now.
I love him. I fucking love him. Hall of Fame.
The only weapon I could find is I just had a pair of scissors.
Are caddies inducted into the Golf Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah. Joey, I believe, was like inducted. I don't know if it's necessarily the same. It might be like the Caddie or something different. But I think Joey was inducted into something a few years ago.
Okay, there you go. Well, he should be inducted into all of them, even like Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't know. Just put him in every Hall of Fame you could possibly put him in. So it's just his bib should be everywhere. You walk into like the Hockey Hall of Fame and Joey LaCava's bib is there, like next to like Mike Richter fucking goalie pads or something.
So in 2019, he was inducted into the Caddie Hall of Fame. But you're right, he should get into just the general Hall of Fame. It's also amazing to think that man was there on the 18th green, hugging Tiger Woods in the biggest moment, probably most famous moment in the history of golf. I mean, the 2019 Masters will go down as the most amazing, memorable, stunning, important win in the history of golf. And Joe LaCava was the one being like, it's 181. I think it's a hard 8 iron. That's amazing.
It's fucking amazing, man. And like you said, his family is unbelievable. They're huge sport fans, and they're big Barstool fans, and everything about that family I love. He's the nicest, most generous dude in the world. He texted me after the Islander game, like wishing me well, saying how the Islander game was cool, and talking about the team. And he's a big Ranger fan, so it takes a lot for someone like that to really like get into the Islanders. And God, I just like that guy so much, man. I'm just swooning over Joey.
You
gotta bonk me right now.
Did Lurch send you a text after the Islander game? After the Islander loss?
Fuck that guy. He didn't.
I'm just saying that was the Rangers.
Why would I? After the loss, what? Sorry that they lost to Tampa.
Well, you could have done what Joe LaCava did. I don't know.
No, I could have, but Frankie doesn't have his emotions in check, and he takes it out on me, and he's a little baby, so I didn't want to.
I was actually pretty. I was okay. I was okay after the loss, to be honest. People texted me, they called me, and I was just like, you know what? I'm fucking heartbroken, but I'm not gonna take it out on anyone.
A lot of people Monday at the Classic and Tuesday in Chicago, actually, their first question to me was, "How's Frankie doing?"
Yeah, everyone's been very somber, just because like we're watching the fucking finals now, and that Eastern Conference Finals was the championship. That was the finals. I mean, whoever got out of that was Tampa Bay is just rolling Montreal. They're better.
That's what losers
they're stronger. I don't know. I mean, your team's lost just as much as mine has. So
Right, but I'm just saying, like, that's like the losing mentality. Like, you lost that, and so like that was the finals, East Coast finals. Like, no, it wasn't. It was the semis.
All right, Riggs. I'm gonna take off here, but I'll catch you guys next time we
Yikes.
record.
Trent, you want
That's
to do
just
a
a thing people
separate
are
Zoom
saying.
call?
It's
You want
like-
to have a link up over there?
we're just talking sports. I didn't think it
Link
was just
up.
gonna get shut down like that, but it's all right. We can continue.
What do you mean? I just said it's like that's what like it was the semifinals.
It's not really what losers say. What I'm saying is, like, I think the Islanders would have beaten the Montreal Canadiens. I think it's pretty evident that, like, Tampa Bay is a much better team than them. Islanders pushed them to Game 7, a 1-goal deficit. I mean, a lot of people are saying that was the finals. It's like a thing people say in sports. I'm not being a sore loser. I've taken
I
every
didn't
L
say
I could
sore
possibly
loser.
get.
That's just like what people say when they lose in the semifinals and they think their team deserves more accolades.
When the
than
team
got.
they lost to in Game 7 goes on to eventually probably sweep the team in the Stanley Cup Finals, it's pretty easy to say that there was something there.
Potentially, but different playing styles, different like puck bounces, different ways. Like last night,
Okay.
the goalie for Tampa like stood on his head, bunch of deflections, hit his stick. Luckily, you never know how it goes.
It's true.
It's a good run. Your team's amazing. I will say that, no doubt about it.
They're good.
Like
They're fun
they're
to
an
root for.
incredible hockey team.
You think they're gonna get broken up a lot, Frankie? Where are they at with their contract stuff?
Contract problems, but Lou Lamoriello, I owe everything to that guy. One of my tweets it goes viral every July 1st. Artemi Panarin will be a New York Islander, and everyone retweets it. And 6'10" Barstool and Avery Zaretsky's of the world, the real Ranger fans, they end up retweeting me, and they make videos about me saying Artemi Panarin's going to be a New York Islander tomorrow. I've never deleted that tweet. I stand by it. I was wrong. I mean, Darren Dreger, all these people said that Panarin was going to be an Islander, so I just went on it. But the only reason I bring that up is because ever since that day, Lou Lamoriello has just corrected his wrongs, like figured out a way to just get past the Rangers those last 2 years since Artemi Panarin has not been an Islander. And I just put a lot of faith in that guy. They got to sign Pelech, the best defenseman on the team, and they got to re-sign Cizikas. Once you get
Do
that
they have
done,
cap
it's
space?
like, no, they have zero cap space, but it is what it is. Like, we'll figure it out. Guys will get moved, but the core of the team will stay. They will re-sign Pelech, and this is another thing. It's like that's just going to get retweeted if they don't. My hope is that they re-sign Pelech. If they have to lose Cizikas, he's an identity guy. It happens, but I think that they're so deep at this point. Like, they were making roster decisions in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final, or the semifinals, it was called this year. So I think they're deep enough to, lose a guy and add a guy.
Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm rooting for you.
Anders Lee comes back, our captain. We missed him all year.
Well, look, it's important to protect your squad, protect your guys. It's
Thank
also
you.
important to protect your home. When Simplisafe Home Security's founders, Chad and Eleanor Lawrence, designed their first security system in their kitchen, they did it for a very personal reason, gentlemen and ladies out there listening. Their friends had just had their home broken into, which is very sad. It's very scary. They were struggling to find a security system that was simple to set up and would make them feel safe again. My folks, my parents, for years now, probably been 4 years, Trent, since we've been starting the podcast, so maybe 4.5 years that they've been using Simplisafe.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing you need to hear is we've been talking about Riggs' parents having Simplisafe since the beginning of the podcast, and they've just been safe for almost half a decade. So Simplisafe is the way to go.
In what kind of manner have they been safe?
Simply.
Very simple manner. Setting the whole thing up, getting it done. It's incredibly simple, easy. You don't have to grind. You don't have to be some sort of genius, not complicated. A passion to protect people not only drives every single engineering detail in all of Simplisafe's products, but it motivates every interaction with its customers. Simplisafe makes it very easy. Simplisafe.com/Barstool /Foreplay. We are Barstool Sports. Simplisafe.com/Foreplay. Foreplay is the golf branch of Barstool Sports. It takes about 2 minutes to customize a system on Simplisafe's website. Go to Simplisafe.com/Foreplay to learn more about how Simplisafe can help protect you and your family. Go to Simplisafe.com/Foreplay today to customize your system and get a free security camera. That's right, you will get a free security camera. You'll also get a 60-day risk-free trial, so you have nothing to lose, and you will not lose stuff if you use Simplisafe to protect your home, protect your stuff. Again, go to Simplisafe.com/Foreplay. All right, gentlemen, we have now. I'm going to pitch you guys a few segment ideas. I was driving back from the golf course last night,
Also, real quick, I want to remind everyone, we said this in the beginning, that we've recorded this on Thursday. So Bryson DeChambeau for sure will have made comments, or someone from his team. You got to think that there will be some sort of confirmation or anything about this Caddie situation. We do not know that as of right now, because like you're already seeing people like tweeting about like how they're going to get him after the round. He just teed off at 110, so like something will happen. And I want you all to know not to get angry on Twitter. These guys are losers and they don't tell us X's and O's about exactly what happened. We don't fucking know. As you hear us, we don't know.
That was awesome.
It's just some guy just fucking tweeted at me our fucking promo about us putting our golf bags, our shit in our golf bags, and we're complaining. He goes, "Real first world problems, huh? You guys are such fucking losers." What do you first world problems? Everyone puts fucking luggage on planes, dude. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
That's
first world problems? These
Only
guys
you,
are
Frankie,
losers.
you rich fuck, you rich elitist douchebag.
Look at this guy packing clothes in his fucking bag, trying to save money so he doesn't pack 2 bags. Jesus.
He doesn't want to pay for that $30 extra bag, so he's fucking packing into his golf bag. Champagne problems, Frankie.
Champagne problems flying Delta.
While he's trying to get early in line on Southwest so he doesn't have to get a middle seat.
Jesus, these people, man. All right, let's go to the ideas. I'm excited.
The other thing I wanted to add actually about the Bryson thing, it speaks to how much Bryson is a needle mover in golf. Like, dude, his caddy just like quit. And they're talking about lining him up for interviews after. Everyone's like on pins and needles about who's going to. It's just Bryson moves the needle. Like, you can fucking hate the guy. I think overall now, more of the stuff that he does news-wise and everything is a little bit like, I have a distaste for it more than I like it and enjoy it. But, man, everything that guy does makes news in the golf world. Everything that happens to him is huge news. They're waiting afterwards. All the journalists are lining up to interview Bryson after his Thursday round about his caddy, who's not even Bryson, and what happened.
Yeah, it's spectacular. Also, if you just look at, like, the Brooks tweet and on Instagram and stuff, there is that, like, people are somewhat turning. The assholes on Twitter and Instagram, they're like, knock a guy when he's down, why don't you, Brooks? And, is this, like, too much? Like, let the guy live. Bryson lives in Brooks's head because every time Bryson does something, Brooks then reacts. So it is this whole 50-50. You don't know where people stand now. It's interesting to see where this is going.
Brooks said something the other day that I think really ended up turning some people. It was maybe he was on Sports Center and he was saying, like, I think the reporter asked him, like, do you guys think you'll ever like get dinner and just like hash this thing out, and like what is this beef even really over? And then Brooks, like, he just said, like, I'm not going to disclose what it's about, but I don't think we'll be getting dinner anytime soon. He knows what he did. He kept saying, like, he knows what he did, and people were like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
He said he started it, basically. Bryson started this whole thing, so it was all his fault. But yeah, was that on ESPN or something like that? It was just like a short little interview about it.
Like, what did he fuck his girlfriend or something? Like, what does he mean by that? Like,
right, and I did read a couple of the comments, people being like, well, now this is just high school. You're saying, you're like, oh, I'm not going to say it, but he knows what he did. When it's like, we all want to know, and it just seems like, I do think people are starting to turn on him a little bit.
Talked about his abs like 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah. No, and the Barstool Classic is actually a really good barometer for stuff because we just have 100 golf fans at each one that we kind of chat with, and they all very commonly bring up the Brooks Bryson thing, and people are split on it. I think pretty similar to how we are. Like, there's times where I think Brooks comes off amazing. There's times where he comes off like kind of an asshole, and there's times when Bryson comes off as very likable and sort of almost like endearing, where you're like, yeah, just let this kind of like golf dork do his golf dork stuff. And there's other times where it comes off like a total loser. So yeah, the whole thing's a little bit split. I think it probably will be forever. But yeah, Bryson moves the needle, man.
You should almost set up a voting booth at these Barstool Classics and have them like, who are you, Team Bryson or Brooks? And then just have the results. We can talk about them on the podcast. Because I do think, because we've talked about, like, we pick up golf fashion trends from the Classic. Where like, what are people wearing? What's hot this summer for that? And like, it is just a very good sample of normal golfers and what they like, what they dislike, all that stuff.
I think we just came up with a great content idea, Trent. I know what we're going to do. We're going to set up a confession cam at the Classic with like a hot button topic in golf and just have people sit down, film them, and we'll splice it into a video of like what the people think about golf.
100%.
That's a great idea.
From the
That's
guy.
a great
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
It's an absolute no-brainer. And you're right. We do, like, with a lot of the merch that we put on sale, so people know, whenever people show up to the Classic, I just fucking walk around and stare at their outfits, and then I just text our merch team. Like, this is what people are wearing. Then we put Barstool Golf on it, and we start selling it. So
I have a confession. I have a confession.
Oh, God.
Speaking of, like, outfits,
Yeah.
I golfed yesterday,
Okay.
and I fucking wore shorts.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Shut the fuck up.
I fucking wore shorts.
Was it because you were alone?
It was because I was with my buddy Andrew, and I knew that there was no one on the golf course except for those two guys that ran right through us at the country club, and it was fucking 100 degrees of humidity out here. I almost passed out there in shorts as it was, and I had pants on. I walked outside. I got in my car. I said, I can't do this. I can't. I've been fasting. I haven't eaten all day. I haven't done shit. I threw on shorts. It took me about a half an hour to find shorts. I was 25 minutes late to the tee time because I couldn't find fucking golf shorts. I finally found a pair of Peter Millar pants that were in shorts that were in a bag still that they've sent me like 2 years ago because I've told them not to send me shorts. I don't want to look at them, but I fucking wore them. First thing my buddy says is, whoa, look at those legs, like in a bad way. And I said, well, this is why I don't fucking wear them. This is why I don't fucking wear them. Because of that, and also because you shouldn't worry about what I'm wearing, and you shouldn't worry about the heat or the condition that I am in. Worry about yourself. See, I hate that shit. Don't worry about my...
Did he take any pictures?
No, there's no pictures.
I picture you attacking your friend like Alec Baldwin in the paparazzi when he tries to take a picture. You just like going after him.
You gotta pay for these legs. You gotta pay to see these legs.
You also, Frankie, you do the, like, why do people care what I'm wearing? But then you, like, will lose your mind on Trent if he has wires exposing in his apartment. Like, why would you care if he has wires exposed?
Also, you said, like, whoa, look at those legs. Like, you treat your legs like they're like this hidden temple, and they don't see the light of day. It's like a kid who's played video games for 12 hours. It's like somebody's played video games for like 12 hours and then they see like the sun. They're like squinting. That's your leg.
Right. That is true. Like you make a smaller problem worse by not wearing pants, and the legs just get whiter and whiter and whiter. And then when you finally wear shorts,
it's not about the whiteness, guys. It's like they're just not nice legs. It has nothing to do.
I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah, I think the whiteness. They're blinding, dude.
Bro,
You're Johnny Drama who wants calf implants. Like that's you. Yeah, like, you're just so self-conscious about your legs,
knees, and everything. Like I just don't like these, and I also just like don't usually get that hot, so I like to wear pants.
But are they not just translucent white?
See, the problem is they're not translucent white because I do like I like lay out on the weekends and stuff. Like I do wear shorts like in a pool, and I'll like go to like my friend's house who has a pool, and I'll just like lay out there. I do, but in golf shorts, they're just bad, man. Listen, it doesn't have to be a whole thing about my legs. I just wanted to say a confession about I wore shorts. It's been about, I don't know, 2 years since I wore golf shorts.
So how did it feel?
I was going to say, how did it feel? You like it?
Felt great, man.
Yeah.
So just wear shorts, dude.
It was way too hot to wear pants. But no, next video we do, pants for sure. Like Michigan, pants. Every day.
Why not?
Bring a pair of shorts just in case. Bring a pair of shorts.
I'll bring a pair of shorts. I'm gonna need Peter Millar.
If you arrive to the tee one morning, like when we're all kind of waking up and you're in shorts, come on, that'd be a moment.
They send me these high shorts too because those are in. Who the fuck's wearing these high shorts, man?
Yeah, you can't do those, bro.
Dude, it was a scene, man. I walked around. I thought I had to go straight to a hospital.
Will you wear shorts if I wear shorts? If we sort of have like a...
No, you have fantastic legs, dude. Look at you. You just nodded like with a little fucking smirk.
Anytime I wear shorts, people are like, you should wear shorts more often.
I need Peter Millar to hook me up with shorts that go around the kneecap.
Really good.
I need something that covers up above the kneecap. Like that area right around the kneecap's a nightmare. So I need something that covers up. Maybe I can wear a hybrid. Maybe I'll wear capris.
Please, yes. Everyone support it. Everyone support it. Everybody support it.
No brainer. Please do.
So yeah, that happened, and yeah, it was a sight for sore eyes. Thank you.
All right, I've got 6. I came up with 6 segment ideas. Now, I did have a whole plan. I came up with a few on the last night on the way home, and I couldn't jot them down really because I was driving, so I kind of forgot a couple of them. But then this morning, I was like, I got a few hours before we record. I'm going to come up with like 20, and then all this other news broke from things, so I was trying to collect some information, and I didn't get as many as I want. But I want to preface this by saying before I pitch my segment ideas. There's a little bit of a throwback to Roan. Remember when Roan was on the Dave Portnoy show?
Well, this is also a throwback, and it's actually making me want to jump out of my window, is when I was like my first 2 weeks with Dave Portnoy. I wasn't really doing anything at the job. I sucked. And I would go in, I'd learn how to video edit because I kind of snuck my way in there, teaching myself on YouTube how to video edit and all this stuff. Took me a month to make one video that he loved. So I was learning from Millmore and whatever, and I'm getting my feet wet, and you can't get your feet wet around Dave, especially at that point. This was 5 to 6 years ago. He was still fucking going 1,000 miles an hour every second. So he came up to me after almost firing me, and he goes, before you leave today, I want 100 ideas for me by the end of the day, right? So I'm just ideas, like content ideas, places to go.
Ridiculous number.
100. 100. So I said, okay. And I got to like 25. And I like really thinking about ideas. Like, we should go to here. You should do this. This is something that I got to like 25. I walk in his office. I'm like, hey, I got like 25. He's like, that's not even, that's 75 away from what I told you. He's like, you will not stop until you get 100. And I remember just writing down anything. Oh, we should do sunset reviews.
Let's go to the fucking moon.
Yeah. Tree color reviews. Anything. I came up with every fucking
microphone reviews, laptop reviews,
sunset reviews kind of came to fruition. He does
right.
it.
It's gold now.
Yeah, that's a good job, Frankie.
You know, I thought of anything. So that's the only reason that kind of just sparked something in my brain where I saw myself shivering in a corner in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I remember Roan did the one idea that I remember, and he had a bunch of them, and he was just going rapid fire. Was the Joe and Joe show?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It was Joe
really good
Embiid,
one.
JoJo the singer,
Joe,
a
coffee,
cup of
right?
Joe. Yep,
coffee like Joe, a cup of Joe,
and JoJo from The Bachelorette.
Yes, the JoJo and Joe show.
Yes, and that was probably what got him hired. Like, it wasn't even a real thing, but that was laugh out loud funny in that clip on social. So I want to preface this by saying I'm going to. My plan is now for once a week to pitch you guys a handful of segment ideas, and we'll talk about them and see which ones we keep. And the other thing I would like to say is that no idea is a bad idea here. Okay, this is
No.
We're trying here. If it's really stupid, don't make fun of me, and we'll just move on.
This is a safe place for ideas.
That's
what it should be. So any idea that you have, we might call it stupid, but we can still talk about it.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right. I've got 6 of them. First one, it's going to sound really simple at first, but I'm going to throw a little explanation in that hopefully you understand. First one is, we each go through dream foursome of X topic. Now, I get that part of my take does like Mount Rushmore, but I think that's very simple of like just the top 4 greatest 4 ever. The little twist with dream foursome is that it's got to be a foursome. There's got to be that chemistry, and it has to make a little bit of sense. So, for example, if you did like dream foursome of TV shows, and you did like, Breaking Bad and Seinfeld, like that could be a nightmare. I don't know that those 2 things would get along, but if you did like Breaking Bad and Lost, that could be a really interesting day out there with those 2 things mingling together. We put a graphic online, and it could get a little interaction and traction going.
Is that so? Are the characters? Are we thinking about Walter White teeing it up with Kramer, or are we thinking of like the idea of Breaking Bad playing golf? And is it always like the idea of he's playing golf?
Well, it leads to an interesting discussion now, doesn't it, Frankie?
I like you. If you did TV shows and you had to pick characters, a single character from each one, they're in the foursome. Does that make sense?
Yes. I do like the idea of actually picking foursomes, because then we have, all right, who do you want to see on the golf course?
Right, like
TV shows, comedies, movies.
Right. So in your example, Riggs, like you're saying, it'd be like Walter White, Kramer, and I don't know about Lost, but
I guess I would say it's a little bit then more up to not necessarily the overarching description of the segment, but rather the subreddit, if you will, of that segment. So like dream foursome, you could almost do like TV show characters or whatever. Yes. But if you get a little bit more vague, then it could lead to whatever. So I guess it would depend on the topic. But like if we did, superheroes, I think that's pretty obvious. But you're right. If we did just TV shows, that could lead to a wild discussion.
Foursomes, dream foursomes for sure. Presidents, American tycoons, sports owners, TV shows,
anything.
movie directors, musicians, bands. Yup, let's do it. Starting next week.
1 for 1. Come on. All right. Dream foursomes is
Dave
it.
Grohl, Dream foursome. Just all
Next
four
one. Next one. Who said it? Very simple. I just present a quote, and then you guys discuss, guess who said that quote. I think it would play well on social, where people just guess, and we kind of discuss it. Not much to it. Pretty simple. Kind of one-dimensional.
Golfers or
anything?
It's just a quote. It would be kind of funny if I, for weeks, got you guys
on the idea because
got
we're not
you guys
gonna
hooked.
get any of these.
But if for weeks but that would be kind of up to me as the host to like get something that's close enough that you guys could guess. But yeah, it's
okay.
I'm very on that. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's a good content piece, and we're not going to get many.
Again, that's pretty simple. I don't
what are your thoughts?
Big discussion.
I got stuck on the Dream Foursome one when Frankie said he wanted different. He just wanted Dave Grohl in all of them, and I was thinking like Nirvana, Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, Dave
exactly.
Grohl. And like, was he ever in another band? Was he probably early on? He was in a different band.
Why? Queens of the Stone Age. He was the drummer.
There you go.
Is that a big band? I've never even heard of them.
They are. Yeah. They are.
Yes, they are.
So who said it's in? I'll come up. We could tweak the names, but that's just
sorry because I was really like deep in thought about that. Who said it is
you look locked up.
I was just trying to think of a third band.
Mentally, just looked shut down. I was like, "What's he doing over there?"
That Dave Grohl is really strong.
We should do this. I just read a quote, and then I would even say that you guys could text me individually who you think said it, so that you don't reveal your answer to the other people, and then we just kind of go through and see, and then it opens a discussion, and we put that quote, on social, and people kind of guess. People can cheat; they can just Google it, but if they want to play and have fun, they wouldn't.
Love it.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. Next one, really similar. Guess by the dress. I just show you guys an outfit, and you kind of guess who wore it, or who wore it.
Okay, sure.
That one's probably not as cool, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't hate that.
Okay.
Is that
next one
again? Is that just golfers and their outfits, or is this?
Look, I would say for all the categories in terms of the parameters, I would say it's similar to the show, where we try to keep it as close to golf as possible, but occasionally you never know.
Slip into the cosmos once in a while.
I might hit you with fucking Leonardo da Vinci, what he wore on like 1492, and you're just kind of like, oh, how are we supposed to get that? So
they were showing they were throwing a throwback. Excuse me.
Was that
British.
Frankie?
You're right.
I know. I'm hot. I'm fucking hot again.
Harry.
We're throwing a show back, huh?
Remember when Sergio Garcia wore that piss yellow outfit, all yellow, Tiger Sunday at the British Open? I just
dusted him.
And I was just watching it. I was like, I can't believe it's so funny how fashion changes. Where like you look back at that now and you're like, that's the worst outfit ever. But then back then, Sergio woke up that morning, Adidas gave him this outfit, and he's like, yeah, I'll wear that. And it was totally fine. It just ages so fast.
Dude, and it was like brown and baked out like links golf, and he just blended in with the ground. It was preposterous.
Dude, TaylorMade put out a promotional video a couple weeks ago of guys hitting shots in slow motion, and they showed Sergio Garcia's legs. He was in shorts like during a practice round. And his legs are they're unfathomable. Like you can't comprehend how beefed up and perfect his like leg muscles are. It's on their Instagram. I'm gonna have to try and find it. It was weeks ago, like before one of the tournaments. Maybe before the U.S. Open, honestly.
I just Googled Sergio Garcia legs.
Dude, I think he's an elite soccer player. Someone told me that he chose between soccer at one point in his life, soccer and golf.
Who was it again? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Sergio Garcia.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's got great legs. It has to be from soccer. Those fuckers all played footy growing up. Like Rory, didn't Rory get hurt one time playing a little footy back in Northern Ireland with his boy?
He twisted his ankle. Yeah, he fucked his ankle.
Oh, if you just type in Sergio Garcia soccer, there's a few pictures of him just running around in a soccer uniform. It's kind of laugh out loud.
Yeah, he plays with
he plays with Messi
practiced.
and shit.
Yeah.
There's that outfit.
I'm gonna have to find this. I'll send it to you guys.
Shout out to Messi for getting a 4-year, $674 million deal.
That number.
I thought that
Hold on, it
just
was 463.
ended.
Yeah, it just ended. So did you get another
No, it was
one?
six. No, it was it was $600 something
$678
million.
million 4 years.
Yeah.
That just expired.
I don't know anything about that. I just saw a tweet. I saw one tweet fly by me, and that's all the research I did.
Ooh, man.
That can't be American dollars, by the way.
Dude, that number was amazing. When I couldn't believe it. I thought that was going to be one of like a Rick DiPietro contract where it's for like 80 years at
It's
least.
a ricochet shot.
Oh, we're also recording this on Bobby Bonilla Day. We're talking a lot of contracts.
That's true. We are recording this on Bobby Bonilla Day. He makes like 1 point something million until
Yeah, I saw that.
for
this
what,
morning.
another 15
Till
years or something like that?
2035, which is so absurd because he hasn't been in the MLB for seemingly 20 years.
2001. He hasn't played since 2001. You guys think I figured out life? Look at this fucking guy. He's getting over a schmill a year for 35 years doing nothing. He's just chilling.
Credit cards get paid today. He's just mapping these things out for the year, and then here's my million, 1.1. Let's pay him up.
All right, what's the next idea, Riggs?
All right, next idea.
Oh, hold on. I found that video. Well, you don't have to hold on. I'm just going to text it to you guys. It's on one of the
okay.
slides.
We can do a reaction.
Sorry, it's
to
an
it.
audio podcast. It's on like
Next
one of these
one.
slides.
Next one's a little different. This one's called Ninth Green at 9. And every single podcast at the 9-minute mark, the producers just play a Shooter McGavin quote from Happy Gilmore.
No.
Love that. Love that.
Brendan, the producer, likes it.
I think Brendan just came. So, okay, any quote.
We won't even know. And we'll be lost in the sauce. Like you and I and the four of us, we'll just be talking. All of a sudden, they're just going to hit us with a shooter. And that's going to be like, oh, it's the 9-minute mark.
So so we'll hear it. They won't just edit it in post. They'll play it during.
They're going to just play it. And it's almost going to be like when they play fucking bagpipes at like 5 p.m. at certain golf courses or whatever.
Yeah.
They just, at 9-minute mark, they just hit us with a Shooter McGavin quote.
But I don't know that we will be able to hear that as we're recording.
We'll have to okay, it's 2021. If we can't figure that out, we should just fucking quit and go do something.
Okay.
What if we did it? What if we, instead of the 9-minute mark, what if we did the 90-minute mark? So then we would know, well, 9 minutes just seems early.
I don't know that we always go 90. But like,
True.
I think the 9-minute would ensure that it gets in there. And I don't know. These haven't been seriously vetted. This is just kind of a
That one's not the worst one, but it's also not the best one.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna put it. They don't like it.
Or how about okay.
Took this to school, mommy, and the friends don't like it.
You had just said that we don't always get to the 90-minute mark. That's true. But how about any show that we do at the 90-minute mark, Shooter jumps in.
Okay.
So then we'd know.
All right.
Yeah,
I like
because I think
it's a
9th green at 90. We'll call it.
Because I think at 9 minutes it's going to be too early, and I'm going to be thinking about it. And I'm going to be like, when does the Shooter McGavin thing happen? An hour and a half in, I'm going to forget.
All right. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
like,
we'll
if that just pops in, that'd be very like, holy shit, we're at 90 minutes. That's funny.
yes.
Okay, good. 90 minutes. I like it. That's a nice wrinkle.
All right.
We'll have to figure out the technology. We could barely get microphones to work.
That's true. I just got a mic that worked yesterday. BarstoolSports.com/TaylorMade. So, as you know, we've been TaylorMade athletes for
I love this segment. I'm a big fan of this segment.
half a year now. You could call this a segment, also known as an ad read, but I'm showcasing to you fellas right now my P770s. This is my 8-iron, which I pulled out of my bag. And I can't get over how sexy these things are. People have asked a lot, like, all right, the TaylorMade deal, what's going on? How legitimate is this? The irons are by far the most amazing, both the way they look, the way they play, and the way that they sound irons I've ever hit in a landslide.
I couldn't agree more. It just looks really good. Yesterday, I had like a 225-yard par 3. And I took a 4-iron out, and I hit it really high. I hit it right on the fucking nuts. I mean, I creamed on this golf ball. A little bit of a draw. Hit the back of the green and rolled back on this little plateau back towards the pin. Was the best feeling iron of all time. Didn't feel like I made contact with anything. I just went right through the golf ball. Oh, my God. It went like anything. Anytime you're hitting one of those long irons, 200 plus. It's the best feeling of all time. It was the best iron shot I've ever hit, and I want to recreate that every second of the day. I want that feeling in my hands and in my cock.
That's T-Dabby's feeling of golf. I feel like, that's what you think of, like, good golf is long irons.
Yes, because when I was at the Kingdom, when we were all getting fitted at the Kingdom, me and my fitter had a discussion about which irons I was going to get. Was it going to be the P790s, or was it going to be something a little more forgiving? And we eventually went with the P790s. They're not as forgiving, but I told him that I was going to really be trying to improve my golf game this year, and I wanted to grow into the 790s. And now, when I fucking catch one of the 790s, it's the best feeling, and it's the best sound that you can get. It's that snap. And when it goes, it's like Frankie's saying, you don't even feel it. It doesn't even feel like you touch the ball. I'm so glad I went with the 790s. They're obviously all great irons, but these irons are fucking
the difference is extraordinary. Like, I had Mizunos before, like, just to blatantly say, like, I had Mizunos and then I had Titleist. The difference is staggering. I will be TaylorMade iron player for the rest of my life, regardless of what's going on. Like, they are that good.
Look, I could not possibly agree more. And I like the long iron talk because if I'm working on something on the range, I think the true barometer of it is I then go to like a 4-iron and take a handful of swings. And like, if you can hit a 4-iron or a 5-iron pretty consistently, like you can play golf. That's just a fact. Like, you can just get the ball and play pretty well. And this 4-iron that I've got from my P770s, dude, it's high in the air, stays in the air for a while, lands soft. Even my misses, which like I clank quite a bit of them, like they still get up there near the green. They land soft. They're in a good spot. And then the other thing I have to show you guys, okay? So the TP5X, which is a great golf ball. I got it right here in the these. But my girl Teresa, who played in the LTP from South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, she sent me a couple boxes of these TP5Xs with the Jackrabbit on the side.
Really cool.
Wow.
This is my most prized possession. Are these golf balls?
That's an elite logo.
It's a great logo.
Oh, it's fucking. And I shot my 75 yesterday with these golf balls with the Jackrabbit on it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's something
You
there,
like that?
man. There's something there. Is this a segment idea, by the way?
No.
Okay.
This is an ad read.
This is just us talking.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, kind of mixed. I kind of tripped you guys up there,
No,
but that's
I mean,
the
if
goal.
we want to do this every show, I'm in. I love doing it.
I do too. Their Sim 2, the woods are awesome. Sim 2 Max, everything's really, really good. So go to TaylorMade's website store, check them out. Go to barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. We have our own landing page. You can see what we use and get involved in the TaylorMade action.
By the way,
how good is the Jackrabbit?
It's
So
the best
good.
logo I've ever seen.
It's a
I just
great
want to say,
logo.
you mentioned like when you're hitting your 4-iron, 5-iron, that's a good barometer if you're playing well. I can't tell you the last 2 times I've played golf, I probably hit more greens with my 4 and 5 than I did with my sandwich. It's insane. I mean, yesterday, but like that's disgusting.
Not good
That's,
too.
you
At
need
the
to
same
figure out-
token.
That's
Yeah.
I'm hitting flush 4-iron, 5-iron, 6-irons, and duffing 58s and 52s. It is a sad sight to watch me hit these golf balls like moonshot irons, great drives, hybrids off tees, 3-wood. Dude, I worked a 3-wood around a dogleg left the other day as a lefty. I was like Bubba Watson. I actually finished like this. My second shot, I'm like right in front of the green, chunked it twice with a 58. It's like, what just happened? I was elite 10 minutes ago. So yeah, that's my game right now. All right, next segment idea.
Couple left. This isn't necessarily like a unique idea. I think a lot of different places do this, but I think it'd be fun if we did it. Is basically a 4-play survivor pool. So you pick a player each week that makes the cut. That's it. And you can only pick a player once. Once you've picked them for that year, it's over. I think, again, this is not revolutionary. This is almost like claiming you invented the newsletter. Like, no, we're not inventing a subject here. But I think it would be very fun. I think we could start really at any time because, like, with the wraparound, we would just do the calendar thing, whether we mix in some prize, tie it to Barstool Golf Time, tie it to whatever. But I think picking one player each week, we'll do it in the Tuesday show, who's in the field, and do a survivor, and the last person left, wins for the year, and then we start up another one, would be a fun idea.
I think that's a no-brainer.
And any other podcast that's like, oh, they're copying us. I'm sure other people do it. You didn't invent fucking survivor pools. Let me tell you something. You didn't invent shit.
I think we do that for sure.
Does that happen in other podcasts? I don't even know.
No,
I think
I'm
that's
just
a really
it's
good
a
idea.
common thing. Who knows? But it's a
Frankie's just getting ahead of it. He's just getting
ahead. Yeah, that's just an old podcast move right there.
That's a good idea. And then this is the last one of the day. I'm going to come with a handful each week. But the last one's called The Cut. And we each will do it, let's say
off
once.
the podcast, every show. We just fucking, at the end of it, just say goodbye. Ding
Great
dong,
getting
you
ready.
got it, Riggs. It's taking you so many fucking hours to come up with these ideas. Let's go. You nailed it, buddy. Wow.
Finally. I've been grinding.
Cut.
So the cut is, you're kind of close, Frankie. Each week, each person eliminates one thing from the world of golf. You just eliminate one thing, and then that's just your running list. And each week we'll update each person's running list. And by the end of it, we'll all have dozens of things that we have just cut out forever from the world of golf.
Okay.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
That'll get tricky.
We're going to have a stripped down golf course by the end of this podcast.
Right, there's going to be nothing. There's going to be barely a ball out there.
It's going to get close at the end. It's going to get weird at the end. I mean, we're going to have to come up with weird stuff. Again,
so-
this one could be refined
Wait.
a little bit, but
Is
Wait,
this an
so-
aggregate? Is it or just individuals? Like, do we go around each week, we do something different, but it's all to the foreplay golf? Or is it I have my own golf, Frankie has his own pathetic golf? And
we each
so
have
on?
our own. We each have our own list of things that
Okay.
we've cut, called the cut. This would be Trent's cut list, and it's everything Trent's cut from the world of golf.
And this could be, just so I'm clear, it's not just to the game of golf, it's things in the golf world.
Correct.
Okay. I like that. Like,
Correct. You could just cut like
Jeff Shackelford.
yes.
he's out. He's gone.
Okay, good. That's my first pick.
All right.
Or like, yeah, all right, I like that. That one I really like.
And look, we say that it's going to get dicey, but also you could just cut like a golf hole, and that's just gone like forever.
Right.
So you got to get creative with it. That's the point. We got to activate those brains, that neurological system you got up there, and try to do it.
Yeah, I like it. We do that when I'm doing the thing Frankie is just tried to defend against. But when we do cutting stems, every week we cut like a thing from that episode of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. So it's I like have my practice in. I know I'm excited for that one.
Do you want us to not do that, Trent?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You stepping on toes here?
No, I'm saying it's a good idea.
We stepping on roses or what?
Ooh. Did we cut your stems there from you?
Trent, how is Bachelorette going this year? I mean, as always, there's a lot of hype around it on Twitter. Is it another banger of a season?
It's an okay season. Caddie, the Bachelorette, is good at. She's no bullshit. She like if anybody starts acting like they're not there for the right reasons, she sends them right home. And usually, or in more entertaining seasons, I will say, those people get kept around for whatever reason and they cause chaos. But she's very good at seeing a problem and getting rid of it. So it's a more together and organized season, but that sometimes doesn't always make for the most chaotic season.
She said to one person, "Your Bachelor audition is now over." That happened, and she just said that to a guy that clearly was trying to become the next Bachelor.
Yeah, she said that to Thomas. Thomas admitted
That's
to the group.
hell of a line.
Thomas admitted to the group that he had thoughts of becoming the next Bachelor when he came on The Bachelorette, because that's normally
Trent.
what happened. Yeah, go ahead.
So I watched that in real time. I flipped over. Did you think like her delivery there and all that was really, really good? Did you guys debate if that was scripted or not?
We did not debate if it was scripted or not, but I could see people thinking
That was like a movie line. That was a movie line that she dropped up.
I said preposterous again. Someone do the tally. I said preposterous again. I made it through an hour and 20 minutes of this fucking podcast.
You're like, I'm picturing one of those days in the workplace since the last accident, and you are the preposterous guy. Yeah,
that line is straight out of a fucking villain movie. Like, your watch has ended. It's
Right.
like-
Yes, that's what
Your
I thought. And I'm not
Bachelor
trying to shit on The Bachelor and say it's overly produced. I don't care about any of that. I was just curious if you thought that she just fired that kind of off the cuff and was like, I'm going to address the situation, or if there was a little bit of a meeting with the production crew, because it was too perfect.
There is a chance that it was scripted, but I do this thing sometimes. with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, where I just view it differently, where I'll just believe everything. I'll switch it on and I'll start believing everything. Because if you start wondering what's overproduced or what's scripted, you'll drive yourself a little crazy. And don't get me wrong, we talk about some of the things that do seem overly produced and scripted sometimes. But if you view the entire show through that lens all the time, you'll just end up hating the show and you'll leave. So it's fun to believe the craziness sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's a better life. It's a better life.
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen. So to recap, go ahead, Lurch.
Yeah, are we going to do every one of these pieces every show?
Well, no. These would be, we'll pick a few each show. Maybe a few of them we'll do every week. We'll kind of we'll workshop it, see what works. But we're not going to oversaturate the whole show with just segments all the time.
Because some of them seem like they needed a weekly input. So then I'm thinking, all right, how much time are we giving these
a few of them, but also I got to give you guys a heads up now of if we're going to do a dream foursome, I can't just be like, hey, tell me your dream. There needs to be some thought behind it.
Yeah, the only two that I thought needed to be weekly would be obviously the Survivor Pool. That has to be. And then the 90-minute Shooter McGavin. The other ones you can kind of pick and choose.
Agreed. So to recap, here's kind of my notes. The first one, there's 6 of them. First one, Dream Foursome, I wrote in all caps, they love it. Second one, Who Said It, I wrote in all caps, they love it. Third one, Guess by the Dress, I wrote, they think it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
It was hard to follow that one with the quote one. Because we like the quote one so much.
Okay. Ninth Green at 90. I originally wrote, they don't like it, then scratched it out and said, we got there.
Yeah, I think we did.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Fifth one, Foreplay Survival. I wrote, they love it. Sixth one, The Cut. We eliminate one thing from the world of golf each time. I wrote, they like it.
Yes. It's
Okay.
a good list, man. I think this is nice. I think the listeners will all appreciate the refreshment of new ideas and different topics and stuff because, the dog days of summer, that's what they are, man. It's like it's golf tournament after golf tournament. It's the same fucking shit day in and day out. And this will get us going. This will get us talking.
How about we could also do a segment where not just Riggs comes up with a segment. Like a segment idea about segments.
Yes.
Okay, you're right. Segment. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Yes, I think every few weeks I should pitch segments to you guys.
But also we then one of the times or every once in a while one of us different people
comes up with the segments.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll do every few weeks. Yeah, okay, I like that. Every few weeks we'll rotate whose turn it is to come up with segment ideas.
Okay, I like.
You'll have a week's notice to come up with segment ideas. You'll pitch us, and we'll go through it.
Frankie will be like, golf ball reviews.
Just take me right back to that moment. Yeah. I'll come with 100 ideas.
All right, gentlemen. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. I don't know if you did yet, but again, talking to the listeners.
Hopefully we made it.
It's
hope we make it, Frankie.
It's Tuesday, July 6th, 2021.
Got to make 5 days. Holy shit.
The next episode will air on Thursday, July 8th, 2021. So we will see you all then. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.